Welcome to What's That About podcast, investigative journalism on trending topics with an urban perspective. We also cover some topics that aren't trending if they need to be addressed. Today, we are talking about Rich Paul and why is he the most hated agent in the NBA. Stay tuned and find out, and be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And remember, I'm not only your host, I'm also your brother. I am Brother Nice. Now, before we go any further with this video, I just want to say check out my background. No, that is not a green screen or a backdrop. That is the beautiful island of St. Martin. I'm blessed to be here for my birthday vacation. Virgo seasons, Virgos get it popping. So we are talking about Rich Paul and why is he the most hated agent in the NBA. Now, most of you might not know who Rich Paul is. He's the sports agent for LeBron James. Now, how did he get started becoming an agent? Well, this started back in 2002 when he first met LeBron. They met by coincidence in an airport. Rich Paul was wearing some type of throwback jersey that LeBron liked. LeBron stopped them. They started having a conversation, which later turned into a relationship. So in 2003, when LeBron James got drafted, he asked Rich Paul to be part of his inner circle. Now, if you know LeBron James, he don't hang out with many people. Matter of fact, before he brought Rich Paul into the circle, it was just a circle of three, counting LeBron. And the only people LeBron was hanging out with was Maverick and Randy Mims. So Rich Paul made the third person, and they've kept it that way and haven't added anyone else to that circle since 2003. Now, in 2003, when LeBron James got drafted, I believe Leon Rose might have been his agent. I know for a fact that Leon Rose was the one responsible for getting LeBron the extension to stay in Cleveland back in 2006. But when he got drafted, somehow, I don't know if he was responsible for getting a job for Rich Paul with Leon Rose, but however it happened, Rich Paul started working under Leon Rose at CAA. Now, that's a sports agency. So from, I believe, 2003 to 2012, Rich Paul worked under Leon Rose. However, in 2012, LeBron James left the Cavs and he signed with Rich Paul. Rich Paul started a company called Klutch Sports. Now, why does Rich Paul catch so much hate? Well, one of the main reasons is because he signs the top talent in the NBA. And when I say hate, let me tell you this, people. When you see black people succeed at a business, just know they probably had to work extra hard because so many other obstacles and pitfalls and red tape was thrown their way. Now, what do I mean by that? Rich Paul started doing so well in this business, recruiting the top talent to represent, that the other agents started to hate on him. And when I say hate on him, I mean to the point where they wasn't just talking about him. They actually came up with the rule to stop him. Now, most people call it the Rich Paul rule. It was a rule that they came up with that you could not become a sports agent representing high school talent that was heading into the NBA unless you had a college degree. This rule never existed before Rich Paul. But because he started dominating in the industry, they had to come up with the rule to stop him. Now, thank God that most people seen a blatant racism in that new rule, that it didn't last long. I believe it was only like for a couple of months, and they just did away with it. So we now know that LeBron James' agent is Rich Paul, but Rich Paul didn't stop there. He also represents Ben Simmons, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, Alonzo Ball, and Zach LaVine, just to name a few. It's probably like 20 more dudes on his client list. So let's meet Rich Paul and hear from him.
I started out the trunk, and so to make it from the trunk to Beverly Hills is a blessing. But I'm not satisfied. I'm not complacent. I know there's a lot of work ahead to be done to continue to inspire and be impactful for those that's coming behind me, despite their skin tone or their gender. You know, my city was very segregated growing up, but my parents didn't teach that. They didn't allow that, and I never wanted to be that way. And I have all type of friends, and I treat everyone the same because that's how I was raised.
Rich learned from a young age how to sell, and early on he identified vintage sports jerseys as a niche. While his personal style, he says, aspired more toward Ralph Lauren, he also liked a good jersey and saw lots of peers did too. One day in 2002, a 21-year-old Rich threw on a Warren Moon jersey, it matched his sneakers, and headed to the Akron airport for a flight to Atlanta. Waiting for the same flight, an already well-known high school basketball phenom named LeBron James. The once-and-future king complimented the jersey and asked him where he got it.
Can you see this Warren Moon? Can you see this?
That's the one, huh?
Yeah, this the one. Don't ask me why I wore that jersey, but, you know, seeing these young men at the gate and striking up a conversation based upon that specific jersey, for that to lead to what's now a 20-year friendship and a business relationship and a brotherhood, it's just fate, you know.
Rich quickly became a trusted friend and advisor, part of a small and influential inner circle. He joined LeBron, Randy Mims, and Maverick Carter, two longtime friends of LeBron, also from Akron, to create LRMR Marketing. Rich curated LeBron's appearances and image and explored acting, music, and producing before settling on becoming an agent. He ultimately joined CAA to work under LeBron's agent, Leon Rose. In 2012, Rich left CAA to start his own agency, Klutch Sports. Last year, it ranked 7th in the value of contracts negotiated at $1.7 billion.
Klutch Sports decides who wins the championship.
Since y'all not here in St. Martin with me to celebrate my birthday, I went and got a drink for me and one for you. Here's the toast. More life, more love. Let's get it. So as I was saying, Rich Paul catches a lot of hate because he's able to sign the top NBA talent, and it seems like he came out of nowhere in doing this. You got to understand, some of these other agents, they've been doing this for 20 or 30 years and still can't sign the top talent. Another reason why he started catching a lot of hate is because of this guy right here, Ben Simmons. Now, Ben Simmons, he probably even gets more hate than Rich Paul. I mean, especially if you're from Philadelphia. The people in Philadelphia, they really hate this man. They've calling this dude everything from soft to weak or anything else that you could think of. Now, the man is a good player. I mean, he was second or third runner-up for defensive player, I believe, a couple years ago. But for whatever reason, I believe that Philadelphia has given this man anxiety to the point where he didn't want to play in Philadelphia anymore. Now, in the world of business, when you sign a contract, you are supposed to fulfill your end of that contract. But Ben Simmons, he didn't want to play anymore in Philadelphia, yet he still wanted to get the rest of his money on his contract. Now, like I said, Ben Simmons is represented by Rich Paul. So the next thing you know, Ben Simmons started saying that he had mental health issues, and that's why he couldn't play in Philadelphia. So, a lot of people blame Rich Paul for that excuse. They believe Rich Paul gave him the excuse of saying he has mental health issues so he could not play and still get the rest of his money on his contract. Since then, they've worked it out. Rich Paul has got him traded to Brooklyn, which is my city, so I hope Ben don't come there with no foolishness. I hope he shows up and plays and he got his mind right. But that's just another reason why Rich Paul caught a lot of hate, is because he represents Ben Simmons, a player that wanted to get paid but didn't want to play. Now, I'm not one for spilling the tea. I do my best to stick just to the facts and leave the tea spilling up to y'all. But in this situation, I think it's relevant. Let's talk about the singer Adele. Now, one might say, why are we talking about Adele in a video about Rich Paul? Well, that's because Rich Paul and Adele are officially a couple. The two have been dating since 2021. And I found it odd when I found out, because when you look at both of them, they don't look like a compatible couple. But I guess when two people have chemistry, they have everything. Now, I know it's going to be some sisters in the comments saying, why would Rich Paul wait to be a successful black man to go get a white woman on his arm? And my response is, hey, you got to be with whoever makes you happy. Also, Adele is worth $220 million. Rich Paul has a net worth of $120 million, so they are definitely a power couple. Also, I believe Adele's status might be able to push Rich Paul's brand of Klutch Sports to even a higher level. So it's definitely going to work out for all parties. Hey, I want to thank y'all for watching the What's That's About podcast live from St. Martin. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And remember, I'm not only your host, I'm also your brother. I am Brother Nice.